Hi, this is Dr. Eric, reminding you to check the link below to get your copy of the PDF that accompanies this Masterclass video. Thanks. Dr. Eric, True North Chiropractic, and today we're talking about choosing a chiropractor. Here we go. So how do you choose a chiropractor? Well, you don't always want to go by your insurance card. And this is something that we deal with in our office all the time. Someone will call and they'll say, "Hi, do you take my insurance?" Those are the first words out of their mouth. And typically when we tell them that we don't take insurance, they're quick to hang up the phone, which is perfectly fine. It's always your choice. But my take is you're only going to get what you pay for. So when you're working with somebody who is in network versus somebody who's out of network, we're working with different benefits within your insurance. And this gets a little bit nitty gritty, so I'll be brief. When you're working with someone who's in network, which is what most doctors do, you're only going to receive service based upon what your insurance company covers. So what ends up happening is your insurance company basically dictates the terms for you. So the insurance company doesn't care how old you are, doesn't care how much money you make, doesn't care who your kids are. All they say is, John Smith gets 8 visits for his lower back or 12 visits for his lower back. Well, how do they know? Maybe you need 14, maybe you need 4. Right? So when you're dealing with an insurance company that dictates the terms of your care, you may still need care down the road, and then your doctor is going to say, "Hey, I'm sorry, you've run out of insurance benefits," and the patient says, "Well, I guess I'm better because I'm out," because they're used to paying their copay, right? So what ends up happening is when you have an insurance company that limits your visits, you get limited care because the scope of practice shrinks because the insurance company is only going to pay for this little sliver. And what that ultimately means is limited care for you. And that's not acceptable in my eyes. When you deal with someone who's either out of network or someone who's private pay, when you're using out of network, it's similar to the in-network benefits in terms of the insurance company kind of dictating some of the terms, but there's a little bit more flexibility. Sometimes the copay is a little bit higher, but in my mind, you're getting better service. You're getting better value for your dollar. When you do a self-pay, which is what our office is almost exclusively, we get to treat you like a complete human being. So if you come in with lower back pain on the left and you come in with neck pain on the right in the same visit, I get to treat both of those areas as opposed to having an insurance company dictate what I can do. I can do manual therapy. I can give you corrective exercises. I don't charge you a la carte for extra services. I basically combine it into one singular visit. So it's the same fee for the visit. Sometimes visits are a lot longer. Sometimes visits are a little bit shorter depending upon what you come in with. But I get to work on you on a case-by-case basis whenever you need. And we're not held under the anchor of any insurance company, which I think is pretty cool because I get to treat you like a human, which is, I believe, the right thing to do. On choosing a chiropractor. So how do you choose a chiropractor? We don't flip through the yellow pages anymore. We can go online and do a Google search and see chiropractors in my area, and that's very, very good. But you want to go based upon reputation, right? Reputation is key. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. And if you're someone who's good at what they do, likely other people are going to brag about that person. Conversely, if you're dealing with someone who's not so good, word is going to get out as well, but it's going to be a negative connotation unless they don't see this person or do see this person. So what ends up happening is when you see a chiropractor and the reputation is good, whether they've been in practice for 1 year or 20, if they have a good reputation, it's something worth considering and giving them a call, right? Location is also important as well. So when you're choosing a chiropractor, you want to make sure they're either someone who's close to your work or somebody who's close to your home, because even if they're the world's greatest chiropractor and they're in all the magazines and Time Magazine of the Year, a person of the year, you're not going to drive 90 minutes to see this person. Maybe you will in an extreme case, but ultimately you want someone who's a little bit closer to your home. So you have to bear that in mind as well, because you're not going to pick up your house and move. Online, when you're looking for a chiropractor online, do your homework. You can read those Google reviews. Perhaps some of your friends have seen chiropractors. I've seen a lot of people, they do this on Facebook, and under the recommendations they'll say recommendations for a good chiropractor, and you'll see a bunch of names pop up. And then what you can do is you can take, because your friends have basically done the work for you, you can take those list of names and you can give those folks a call. Typically when you talk to a chiropractic office, you'll get the office manager or the secretary, and that'll usually give you a pretty good flavor of the office environment. You know, so if the person is short and curt and very efficient, you may find that the office visit is going to be something similar. You're going to be warmly welcomed into the office, and the doctor is going to present him or herself very, very professionally. But if you find that it's a little bit lax or something like that, you may say, maybe this isn't the right spot for me. So always do your homework. Another question on choosing a chiropractor is, how current is this chiropractor? And I don't mean in terms of years of practice, but I mean of how current are they in terms of being up to date. Every doctor of chiropractic must attend continuing education credits. That's something that our governing boards and our state boards mandate that we must do on a continual basis in order to retain our licensure. So what that does is it helps keep us current in terms of the laws that are changing in our local areas. Maybe new procedures and protocols have been updated, and it also allows us to keep a pulse on what's going on within the profession. So having somebody who attends multiple seminars is actually a good thing in my mind, because it means that they're really staying up to date as much as possible. And how that benefits you as the patient is you're getting to receive all of that new information. So if you see your chiropractor on a Friday and then you're seeing them again on a Monday, and they come to you and they're very, very excited, and they say, I have something new that I had observed at a seminar, and I think it's going to help further your case, and all of a sudden your care went from being good to great, you're going to say, thanks doc, you did a great job. I don't know what was in that seminar, but that technique is perfect for me. So again, things get refined all the time, just like in medicine, just like in orthopedics, just like in physical therapy. Healthcare is often evolving and kind of taking concepts and kind of updating them for today's modern patient. Also, when we look at continuing education credits, there is a minimum standard that all doctors of chiropractic must meet, but oftentimes you'll find that your chiropractor will actually exceed those numbers, and they do so because, number one, they have active interest in those education series, but they also want to make sure that they can be as well-rounded as possible. Questions to ask your chiropractor during your first visit. So this is another good question. You don't want to limit yourself to insurance. So we talked about that before, is when you go in and you're at an office that's insurance dependent, you're pretty much going to receive something like a cookie cutter case. The doctor is very, very good, but they're going to give you what the insurance company is going to pay for. So they're not going to go out of their way to give you extra stuff, because they're not going to receive payment for it. Even though they know it's the right thing, they still need to keep the lights on and pay the staff, and keep the heat on in the summer, in the winter, and the AC on in the summer. So they are kind of beholden to that. So you tend to see those offices being more higher volume offices. Yes, you do get good care in those offices, but in our office, we keep the volume lower on purpose, because I don't want to have people stacked on top of people, because I want to be able to give you 110% care each and every time I work on you. Right, so you don't want to look at that as a handicap. You want to look at that as an advantage. So what we have, typically whenever I work with the new patients, typically we see the big five. So the big five questions tend to be, what's wrong with me? Can you fix it? How long is it going to take? What's it going to cost? And how am I going to prevent this in the future? So those are the big five questions that most patients, and they'll ask me in different orders. That's basically what they want to know. And if I can satisfy answering each of those questions and manage the expectation of the patient, they're likely to say, hey, look, you know what? This is the place I want to be. You sound like you know what's going on, and you're going to help me out. In my practice, I tend to over-deliver care, right? The reason why I want to over-deliver care is I want to make sure that you get the best bang for your buck, right? I don't want to just give you some, thing that I pulled off the internet that I haven't verified, and I'm not going to give you some cookie cutter program. Every corrective exercise program in our office is tailor-made to you. The sets and the rep schemes, they change. The home care recommendations that I give you, they change. So everybody gets something that's specific to them. Manual therapy that we perform in our office and is another advantage that we do to our patients. So it's not just the chiropractic adjustment. You're on the table, you're off the table in a few minutes. We actually have a discussion about what's going on, and we work the muscle tissues that are involved in the particular area that's bothering you, so that we can help you feel better and do better, in addition to the chiropractic adjustment. What we also do too in our office is I give you day one strategies that you can implement right away, and that's going to help you avoid future relapses of your pain. So I don't just adjust you and say, hey, see you on Wednesday. I hope you have a great week. Enjoy that golf game. I'll say, well, how many holes are you doing for your golf? Oh, you're going to do 18. Well, that's a lot. It's hot outside. Are you going to stay hydrated? No, I don't drink much water. I said, well, that's a problem. right? So we talk about that. So I'll give the patient, in this golf example, I'll give them hydration strategies that work for them, and I'll also give them post-golf recovery exercises that they can do so they can help mitigate the soreness for the next day, because I know they're going to golf, they know they're going to golf, I've told them that golfing is a bad idea so soon in care, but they're going to golf anyway, and I totally get that. You have to live your life, but we kind of meet you in the middle to say, you're going to be sore, but now you're going to be a little bit less sore. So day one strategies at my office are crucial in terms of patient success and future success with our patients. Another thing that we do in the office is I listen to your story. You don't get cookie cutter care. I don't listen to you for 5 seconds after reading your intake form and say, okay, get on the table. We're going to do this, 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 and then you're off. And then I say, okay, see you on Wednesday, right? That never happens in our office. I want to know who you are. I want to know what you like, what you dislike, what your social activities are, what you do for hobbies, and also what you do for work, because that helps me learn your story so that I can best tailor make my care towards you. And the other thing we want to do too is by doing all of the things that I had just mentioned, your office visits will last longer than 5 minutes, right? You're not going to be what we call a parking lot adjustment, where you come in pain, I adjust you, and I say, hey, great, see you later. And then as you're walking back to your car across the parking lot, you say, oh, my pain came back. I guess he's not very good. That doesn't happen in our office. What we do is we manage your expectations, and we give you all of the tools available so that you can help yourself get better, so that you can have a better tomorrow and all of your tomorrows as well. Call to action. So if you are someone who you know needs a chiropractor or needs to talk to a chiropractor to see if they're the right fit for that particular person, have them give us a call. They can call our secretary, and they can reach me if it's an urgent case. We also have online correspondence, so you can send me an email. Those emails come direct to me, so if it's a sensitive question, feel free to send that my way. And always in person is the best way so that I can help you, but I always leave the choice up to you. And there we are.